Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with X-Man number 2. So we are continuing our After Xavier, the Age of Apocalypse run. And this book is heartbreaking and terrifying all in the same aspect. What do I mean? Well, let's jump into it. Now, if you remember from our last issue, if you're not sure, pause this review and go check out our review on X-Man number 1. Apocalypse has has ordered Domino to find this telepath that the Shadow King said is so powerful that it could rival Apocalypse. So Domino's moving through the underground, talking to mutants that have information. So in this sense, she's talking to, what's his name? I know his mutant name, but I can't remember his real name. Hold on. Rosovich, there it is. I can never remember the guy's real name. But this is the 295 version of Omega Red. And so you kind of find out that Omega Red here is working in the underground. And it says, the Russian is a mutant named Rosovich, whose ties with the black market and the mutant underground give him access to food, weapons, and the most precious commodity of all, information. So you can see that he does not want to help give any information to Domino. And so, anyway, he's like, you're making a mistake, running a fool's errand trying to extract stuff from me. And she's like, my boss doesn't make mistakes. And who said anything about being alone? And so we kind of get this Shadow look like, oh boy. And we are treated once again to some 90s goodness. So this guy just, he's like, had your chance, Rusky. Now comes killing time. And here it says, when this serial killer went on a rampage through the Rocky Mountains, nearly 100 men lost their lives to bring him in. In a sane world, he would have been put to death. Apocalypse, however, put him to work and gave him the name Grizzly. So if I'm not mistaken, Grizzly here, he was part of Cable's original, what was that team called? The Six-Pack? Wolfpack? I think it was Six-Pack. But yeah, I think that's who this character is supposed to be here. And you can just see these two brutes going at it. And nonetheless, Omega Red's just not giving anything up. But because we know how Domino's powers work, things happen. I guess she goes, Cal, you can come out of hiding now. Now check this out. I wasn't exactly hiding, merely holding myself back, waiting for the most opportune moment to strike. Someone with my talent shouldn't waste it, So this is Caliban, and we can see that instead of a timid Morlock, we have a cocky little turd who thinks that he's too hot to trot. Caliban, unmatched in both his mutant ability to hunt down prey and his oversized ego. So again, it just kind of goes to weird to see two people that are normally heroes in our normal universe to be evil. Or as Dr. Evil would say, evil. I think that's how you said it. Anyway, we cut back. Oh, wait. I almost forgot the credits page. So with all that said, we jump in and see Nate here. He's like, come on, suckers. And you see him being a little overconfident. So kind of a cool page there. This one is called Choosing Sides. This is Jeff Loeb writing, Steve Skoros pencils, Mike Sellers, LaRosa, Conrad, and Hanna doing the inks, Mike Thomas colors and Digital Chameleon, Lisa Patrick's, I think that's just, I don't know if it's supposed to say goodness or that was supposed to be goddess. I don't know if that was an editorial mistake. Richard Starkings and Comicraft doing the letters, Bob Harris, and he goes, oh, everything else, which is the editor-in-chief. So this issue came out, as I just said, April 1996. And so you think that we're in the middle of a battle, but you come to find out it's him and Forge sparring. And I like how Forge just calmly, school teacher-like, says, were we not in a training session and instead an actual battle, your cockiness would get you killed. Now, what I like here is Loeb says, although he loves him like a father, Nate knows Forge to be a hard disciplinarian. Perhaps too hard? Which is worse, having to learn the lesson or having your best friends watch you being defeated? And so Brute, Mastermind, and then right here it says, Teresa, whose newfound mutant power has earned her the name Sonic. Which I'm not a fan of. I've always just, it's like, why couldn't they just kind of, keep it as Siren? But, they had to do something for the sake of being different. Now, Nate knocks the snot out of Forge. So at this point, it's kind of like the son beating the father. He goes, what's the point when I can just TK whack just about anybody? And even though he's been defeated, and Nate's standing there thinking he's the bee's knees, Forge says the point is to get you to realize you can't always rely on your powers. And so Nate, being young and inexperienced, is like, says you. And this is the panel that I did not want to spoil last time we went over X-Men. So if you don't want to be spoiled, either read the book or check out the review. They pick up a man in the last book, and he goes, my name's Essex, and I feel I could be, help you out immensely. So if you all know who Essex is, more power to you. If you're not sure, I don't want to spoil it yet. So Nate keeps coming to him for answers, because he seems to just conveniently always have something that Nate wants. And this kind of reminds me of Palpatine and Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. And Teresa's cautious, and Nate's like, no, I've scanned Essex, and I think he's telling the truth. And so Essex is always trying to train him behind Forge's back. He even teaches him how to fly, which is, the art team did a beautiful job of showing him take off like that. And then what I like is Teresa's like, didn't Forge say something about keeping a low profile? Forge suffers from myopia, which means short-sightedness. I had to look that up. How else could he not see the glory of Nate's power? So look at the duality of the face of how the art team just kind of showed this right here. And Teresa's just kind of like, yeah, right, sure. And so Essex talks everybody into saying, you want to hit Apocalypse where it hurts. Let me show you something. And this is, I love the perspective shot here. Terrifying. This, again, as I said, very much a lot of imagery from the Holocaust. This very much looks like the gas chambers and the concentration camps. So Essex is saying, you want to hit Apocalypse where it hurts? Then check this out. And Forge is, again, hesitant because he's like, how does this Essex feel so, he seems so comfortable with maneuvering around this plant. And so we come to find out here, this is where the Dark Beast breaks down a lot of the humans, after they've been culled and whatnot, breaks them down into genetic fodder that he can use to make more infinites. Now we see these hooded figures in Essex that, first off, it says, the matter was dropped when the project was scrapped, meaning genetic tampering, or so the world was led to believe in light of the Kelly Pact. So if you go back and read X-Men Alpha, you'll find more about the Kelly Pact. Then Essex says, Magi. This I did not expect. They must be on hand to cleanse this facility in the name of Apocalypse. So if you're not sure about the Kelly Pact, if you're not sure what the Magi means, we'll be getting more into that. But just kind of keep that in mind for future reference. Now you can see that Nate, seeing all these horrors, just goes berserk on his own. And of course, Forge is like, Nate, don't do this. Now, there's a moment where Nate actually gets hit. And Forge is like, Essex, we've got to get Nate out of here. This could kill him. Let's go now. Now look at this look on his face like, no. Like, Essex, no, he was defeated so easily. So what's going on here? Now, Nate is able to use his powers that tears apart that factory. And Forge is like, this is what you wanted, Essex? The boy pushed himself too far. Me. What could I have possibly gained? and having Nate pushed too far. What indeed? So, some other things happened that I don't want to give away. But what I do like is Brute always wasn't dumb. Brute was kept in Apocalypse pens. Somebody experimented on him. Brute remembers now. Maybe you don't look like you did, but Brute remembers who you are. So, very terrifying, dark imagery here. How unfortunate. It appears shapeshifting always isn't infallible. Somehow, in that dim-witted little brain, you've managed to figure it out. So what has Brute figured out? Read the book to find out. But yeah, X-Men #2 just continues to just have a lot of good action, a lot of emotional moments. You know, the student kicking against the teacher, the student finding someone who gets him, but it's usually just, you know, like candy. It tastes good, but it's not good for your teeth. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed X-Men #2, please first and foremost check with your local comic shop and see if you can get a copy of this book, because this series is definitely something you want to read. The first 4 issues of X-Men in the AOA universe was great. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate it if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you can possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little SX bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, we'd love to have a dialogue with everybody down in the comments below, or on our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.